Okay, we are going to demonstrate how to load all the photos you need into Keynote to allow a smile design to be created in that software. So obviously we will open up Keynote. We're going to create a new document. I like the white document personally. We're going to choose that. Now let's make that full screen. Very good. Quick and easy expanding that. I like to use, going to document, I like to use the widescreen format or slide, and then I'll go to 100% so I can see the whole thing. So again, you put the patient name. I titled it a smile design. You can do whatever you'd like. Some people have fancy names for that. I go the doctor name and the practice name. That's my basics. You can bring in your logo. You can do a whole bunch of different things if you'd like to help with that. I was going to see if I had my logo on here, but I don't know that I do. But you could put in, oh, I have a logo here. So just say you wanted to do that. You could insert, choose, and in my downloads I have a logo. So I'm going to take that and just put it in there. So you could do that. Put it wherever you'd like. You just want it big and below here. So I just do that. Go up to Format, Arrange, and we're going to put it in the back. There you go. Now you have a logo on your presentation. You can put it up here, in the middle, wherever you'd like, or not have one at all. Okay, so that gets us the title page. Now we're going to do a new slide. You saw that right click on the slide panel, click new slide. I have a new slide. Now when we're on that, let's go over to Format, change master to blank. Let's delete this one. Now you have a clear, clean slate to do your presentation. I'm going to go ahead and Command C and Command V, which is just making a duplicate. On these, let's go ahead and highlight all of them, which again, you highlight that one, hold Shift down and click on the others, or click the furthest slide away, which will highlight all of them. Go to Animate, add an effect, Dissolve, and change that down to about 0.6 seconds. Okay, now we're ready to add the pictures. So how do we do that? Let's go into Insert, Choose, and let's go find the folder. Let's see, where's my sample case? Oops, sample case. And let's go to Diagnostic Photos. There you go. So there's the photos that I would like to use. You'd have to identify where yours are. We're going to just load a lips in repose photo. So there you go. There's our lips in repose. Let's go ahead and shrink this down to more what we want. We probably want to just get the top of the head just outside each ear and just below the chin, trying to center her face in the picture. There we go. Now if we want, we can size this to the same size as our slide. There you go. Just an important note on any pictures you use in your smile design, try to take them, so here's the patient, here's your camera, and it's perfectly parallel. You don't want the head like tilted to the right or the left or up or down, or the camera to be to the right or left or up or down. As close as you can straight on. And you'll see with these pictures that what that looks like. These are a little bit off on some of them, but the more spot on they are, the better. A lot of times too, you don't want glasses. Glasses sometimes interfere with some of your perception of where the lines and proportions are. Okay, well there's the lips in repose. Let's go ahead and insert and choose another photo. This time we're going to choose the smile. Very good. Let's go right in and try to resize it to about the same. Again, maintaining her face in the center of the image. See that? Very good. Now this is the part that's important. We're going to, under Format, oh, we got to click on a picture. Under Format and Style, change the opacity. And what we're going to do here is click on the picture that's lying above and try to get it the same size and shape. So once you get it close, you can then move it around and see how far off you are. And I'm using the eyes just to try to give me a good reference of size and shape. And so I made it a little bigger. Now I'm using the arrow keys, quickly trying to just line up the pupils and see the diameter of the eyes and see how close we are. Okay, we're fairly close there. You could even use the glasses if you wanted, in her case, just to see, and you can tell maybe we're off a little bit more. So let's make it a little bit bigger. And now the glasses are pretty well aligned to the same size. So what we're going to focus on now, I like to zoom in for this, is on the two front teeth. So let's move it around to see where our teeth are. Okay, now you can see the difference. The new image and the old. And actually these pictures are taken pretty close. And we got the size pretty spot on. And all I'm trying to do is line up the incisal edges, the midline of what I can see of those teeth. So that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and zoom back out. All right, now let's make sure our masks are about the same. So we just double clicked on that top photo and we are going to change the mask to fit the same. Done. Okay, while that photo's still highlighted, let's go to Format, Style, Opacity, change it back to normal. And what I like to do at this point is highlight both images, and we're going to slide them over to the complete left side of the presentation. There we go. Okay, or the slide. Now I'm just going to highlight the top one. We're going to left or right click and we're going to cut it. Very good. We're going to click on the next slide, right click and paste. As you can see, now we have two photos that we'll use for quite a few things. Now at this point, I like to click on this image here on the slide, or this slide, Control C and paste. You could also right click, copy and paste. We're just going to do this. Now at this point, we're going to start putting in reference lines. Oh, wrong thing. Let's go ahead and add a shape, do a line, and we're just going to make a parallel vertical line, or straight vertical line. Not parallel, but straight. We're going to go in to the colors of this. So that line's highlighted. You can change the color whatever you want. We're going to use green just because one of our company colors is green. There you go. Now you can see that line, and we're going to try to position it in the center of her face. So I look at the glabella area, the columella area, and the center of the chin. And I think we're in pretty good position there as the center. Don't worry about how far the nose is over, or where the eyes are, or where the lips are, or where the teeth are. You try to center the face. That's another reason why the photo needs to be, the patient doesn't need to be rotated at all. You want it to be pretty straight on. Okay, so now we have that line. Let's go ahead and highlight it again. Control C, Control V. We just made a duplicate. This time we're just going to level it out, flatten it down. Doop. Now we use this line, and you can see how that little yellow line shows up. When it's centered on that vertical line, you can see it there. All right. Now this is where you try to put this at the same or interpupillary line. Now, in her case, I've already looked at these photos. Her eyes are off a little bit. So you want to analyze that and just make sure the photo's not rotated. A lot of people's eyes are parallel. So if their eyes are parallel, you want those to be parallel. You'd have to double click the picture, click on the mask, and go to Arrange, and you could move it if you felt like that's more of where it needed to be. Like I said, I don't think hers is like that. I think her eyes are a little bit crooked. Well, actually, let's go back. I think that may be more of the case. So we're going to leave it like well, I don't know. I think her eyes are crooked, so I'm going to leave it back like that. But that's how you'd go in and adjust it if you needed to. Okay, so we're going to copy and paste that same horizontal line there, put it in the center of the vertical line, and now we're going to line it up just at the incisal edge of those teeth. Now you have a reference image for the doctor to look at proportion, symmetry, anything that may be out of alignment, so you can talk about that with the patient. These lines also, I like to come over here and copy this whole slide. So again, copy, paste. Use a reference for us loading additional images. So on this duplicate slide, we're going to insert just a smile picture. There we go. I like to change the mask to just basically the teeth and the lips. There we go. And then we're going to shrink it down to be similar size as the current photo. Okay, now what I'm going to do is kind of put it over there, over the smile, and we're going to zoom in, probably even more, just so we can see those teeth over each other. Now see, this little photo is highlighted, so we're going to go to Style, we'll Format, Style, and change the opacity. This is where we're going to look really closely and see if those teeth line up. Okay, I'm going to move it around carefully, and you'll notice that we might be off just a little bit on our orientation. So it looks like it's rotated a little bit incorrectly. So I double click it, and now I'm going to click on the photo behind it, and you see it highlighted. We're going to go to Range and change that angle. Let's see if that did it. Let's just click out of the mask. And we have a little size discrepancy still, so I'm going to keep that highlighted. We're going to shrink it down a little. And we still have a little size discrepancy. And again, still a little size discrepancy. We're going to keep going, shrinking it down. So the way I check that is I look at this two centrals, and I follow it out and see how close we are. And that's probably about as close as I'm going to be able to get it. So at this point, let's go back to normal zoom. I like, if you want, you can keep that slide as a reference later or to use it for something later. But we're going to Control C, Control V on that slide, and I have a duplicate. And at this point, I'm going to highlight this vertical line, hold down Command, and that image that's overlaying the smile, and that horizontal reference line. Then we're going to Command C, Command V, and now we have a duplicate. And I'm going to try to center it in this little side space. And now you have a new slide that we're going to adjust. So let's go ahead and copy that slide, paste a new one. What I'm going to do with this is first go into Format, Style, highlight it, go into Format, Style, change the opacity. I'm going to right click it, send to the back. You could also click it and arrange and send to the back. But now it's in the back. What we're going to do now is increase the size. So I try to maximize the size that I can get. There we go. So there's our size. Pull it up on that screen there. Maybe make it just a little bigger. Sometimes those reference lines are hard to work with. Okay. Okay, so there's our image. Now if you look, the lines are off a little bit. So if you look really closely at where they line up here, we're going to move them back to that spot. So it's a little bit to the, about a millimeter or so to the right of the tooth midline, and then that goes right at the sizeable edge. And now you have this image. So at this point, we'll go back to the slide panel, copy and paste, and I'm going to come to this and delete this. I can go ahead and delete these. We don't need these anymore. And now I have a great slide to use in my smile design. Now, what I'm going to do is take this one, copy and paste it. At this point, we're going to bring in some different images. So first one I'm going to bring in, oh, not that one. Let's delete that one. Go to Insert, Choose. We're going to do the cheeks retracted, so we see all the gum tissue as a reference. I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to shrink it down to be about what I think is the same size as those teeth. So it's a little big still. Then we're going to go to Style, change the opacity. We're going to see if we can line up those images. So again, I'm looking at the two front teeth. Now I shrunk it too small, or sized it too small. So let's make it a little bigger. And still a little too small. And that's pretty close, but you'll see that the new image is rotated a little bit. So again, let's double click the image, click on the image back behind, go to Arrange, and let's change the image angle. Now let's come back and see how well that picture fits together. And I worry mostly about the centrals, because sometimes your image just isn't lined up perfectly due to the orientation. You can tell that the second image was taken at a higher angle with the camera, and that's why the teeth look like they slope back a little bit, which is unfortunate, but it's the best we could do in this case. And unfortunately, the more you have your team do stuff, you'll have to talk to them about those little critical things if you want them corrected. Otherwise, you kind of just work with it. Then I just resized that so they're about the same size. I'm going to right click it. We're going to send to the back. Then we're going to click on this image and delete it. Then we're going to click on this image again, go to Format, Style, change the opacity, and now you have a reference image that you can scroll back and forth between. I like those. It's really cool how they don't move that much, those front teeth. Okay, so if you wanted to stop there, that's enough images to really do a smile design. I like to go a little bit more than that. What I do is come over here and Control-C, Control-V. I'll come back to this slide, and I'll just highlight that image and go Command-C, just Command-C or copy. Go down to this image and go Command-V or right-click paste. Now we have that same image that we lined up earlier that we can move up, and those little yellow lines help us keep it in the same orientation. That's pretty good. Very good. Just going to bring this down. Now you have, or send that to the back, right click, send to the back. And now you have the smile with the teeth retracted, so you can compare a lot of data here. Sometimes what I've done in the past, I've even taken this slide and copied it, pasted it right here, then taken these two images, so you click on it, and you highlight those two images, and you go Control-C or copy, and Control-paste, and now you even have the lips at repose to help use as a reference for doing your smile design. Another thing I like to do sometimes is just take this one and go Control-C, Control-V, and we're actually going to bring in the lips at repose picture. So what do we do there? We go into Insert, Choose, and bring it in. Again, change my mask. And reduce that down. I'm going to put it over this picture, change the opacity. We're going to line up the insides of the edges. Change my opacity, I can't see it too well there. Okay, we'll get it close there just so you get an idea of a reference of that. Okay, there you go. And we're going to change that image size to best match that one underneath of it. Click done, send this to the back, delete this one, and now you have the lips at rest that way. So these two slides are kind of interesting. You can do it this way. I like this one personally just because I like to maintain that, and now you have a lips at repose reference as well. So that's kind of the ways. Looks like too this image probably could be rotated. So if you were going to do that, click on the image behind, arrange, and we're going to rotate it a little bit that way. Okay, that's probably a little more accurate. Okay, that's all the images you would likely need for a smile design. The next presentation we'll do or recording will be, how do you do the smile design with these images and walk through it. But at least here, all your images are loaded that you would need to do the smile design. At this point, you would save it. Just go in and save, and it'll ask you where you want to save it and the title that you'd want. I'm just going to save it in the same folder that I had the other one, where I got these images. So sample case, and then I just call this, sample smile design. And it'd be ready. You could save it. Your team, if you had your team do it, they could save it and they have it saved in a folder. You go into it later and do the smile design pretty quickly, and that would be it. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that video.